going white. But you must take your pill, Mr. Squall. The nurse, I can never remember her name. She's from some part of Africa. Whatever name she's got on her tag probably isn't the one her parents gave her anyway, so what's the point? She's trying to push a tiny paper cup against my lips, and I'm turning my head, dodging her feeble attempts. It keeps you from having those bad dreams, she says with a coat of syrup. She's always sweet at first, but when her sugar doesn't work, she calls the orderly over to add pepper to the recipe. I'm a born fighter. I know how to be stubborn. I go the full round with both nurse and orderly before succumbing to their advantage and taking my medicine, but the joke's still on them. I hide the pill under my tongue and spit it out when they have their backs turned. Should have tried that on me when I was back in the desert. I would have flipped the tables on them. I say this with contempt, addressing my words to the empty wheelchair beside my own. We should get the hell out of this hospital. But where would we go? I wait for Nicholas to respond. He doesn't say shit, because he isn't there. Slipped out a while ago, although, to tell the truth, I don't know if he was ever here in the first place. Someone approaches, not a patient and not a member of the staff. He's a middle-aged man who looks like my brother might have, had he lived long enough. He comes over and sits down in Nicholas's chair. Hey, Dad, he says. How are you? Noah? He nods. Yeah, it's me. I can't believe this is my son. I don't remember him this way. Come to think of it, I don't remember me looking the way I do. My hands are much older than I'd thought, covered in liver spots, shriveled, knobby. I do the math in my head. If Noah is, what I'd say about 40, I must be in my 70s. How long were you out there? Out where? You know, I'd totally given up on you. But Wendy never stopped holding out hope. I cough and let the phlegm dribble down. I feel too weak to wipe it away. Who the hell is Wendy? My son fishes a tissue from his pocket and dabs my lip clean. Wendy is my sister, your daughter. She's the person you put through hell when you decided the next fix was more important than your family. He balls the tissue and stands. As he moves in search of a trash can, he studies me. She wanted me to ask you why you didn't come home. I look to Nicholas for explanation, but he's still nowhere to be found. As for me, I'm confused, exhausted, spent. I sit in my chair and stare down at my shriveled hands. Noah returns, shaking his head. I don't have a clue what to tell her. What do I say to my kids when they ask me where I've been spending my evenings? They didn't even know you existed. He drops into Nicholas's wheelchair and affects a perky voice. Hey, kids, Grandpa's not dead. He just couldn't deal with life anymore and got himself hooked on opioids and booze. Where's he been, you ask? Nearest we could figure, he's been living under an overpass, smoking meth and shooting heroin for the last 30 years. Where's Amaya? I ask. Where's your mother? Noah's shoulders slump. He leans forward and puts his head into his hands. He cranes his neck so he's able to retain eye contact. Mom doesn't know we found you, and it's going to stay that way. Reaching up to scratch my chin, I find an unruly beard tumbling down my chest. The hair on my head is the same, apart from the top of my scalp, which is bald and covered with scars. A sour laugh slips out. Who looks like Santa now? I ask the wheelchair. Noah gives me a puzzled glance. Trying to remember anything that's led me to this moment, I turn to my son and ask, how did this happen to me? My son gives his best swing at an answer. I think it all started because you were in pain. At the end of the hall, a small boy moves from room to room. He's singing something, and I'm certain I recognize the song. But it's impossible. How would he know that song? "Who's that boy?" I ask as I turn back to my son, but Noah's gone. But maybe he was never there either. I am so confused, unable to focus on anything. One by one, the lights in the hall flicker out until only the panel above me and the one over the boy remain lit. He and I are alone. "Noah?" The boy giggles. He beckons me, saying, "Come on, Daddy." I try to roll my wheelchair, but it won't budge. "Hurry," he says, as he disappears into the darkness. Struggling to stand, I teeter between weakened knees and a tired back. My legs wobble as I take the first tentative step. The boy's voice echoes through the hall. "Come quick!" Oddly, with each inch forward, I feel my body getting stronger. After a few twisted paces, my gait switches into a heavy trot. I look down at my hands and watch as they get younger. The agonizing electricity in my leg and back subsides, and I can walk without pain. Soon I am running. I'm 38 again, and it suddenly feels so young. "I'm coming," I say as I run down the hall. "Daddy's coming." As I approach the corner, the last light burns out.